There are new signs that Russia is widening the war. The bombing of a military training facility near the border of NATO ally Poland over the weekend, and intense shelling of Kyiv overnight.
Meanwhile, high-stakes diplomacy is getting underway. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is meeting with his Chinese counterpart on the heels of that headline that Russia has asked China for military support. We have team coverage this morning. Senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell starts us off in Kyiv. Good morning, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. We've been hearing the sound of regular explosions around the city, we think to the northeast of Kyiv this morning, and we're just getting reports of multiple civilian casualties, this time in a city that's held by pro-Russian forces in the east of the country. Meanwhile, negotiators meeting online right now to try and see if they can broker a ceasefire and a potential peace deal. But of course, that doesn't mean that there's been any let-up in Russia's violent invasion of Ukraine.
This morning, the war in Ukraine spreading to the west of the country. Russian missiles striking a military base near the town of Yavoriv, around 10 miles from Poland, a US NATO ally. The strike killing at least 35 and wounding over 100. The US saying it's clear Russia is now broadening its attacks. Now, a senior US official telling ABC News that Russia has asked China for military support, something it says it's keeping a close eye on. This morning, Chinese officials dismissing the claim. On the ground, although Putin's army has made no significant progress on the battlefield, it has been shelling towns and villages around the capital Kyiv, and this morning, even hitting an apartment block in a northern suburb of the city. A Ukrainian lawmaker at the scene sending us this video.
I'm staying in Kyiv near a big residential building, which was hit this morning, just 3 hours ago, by direct heavy artillery shell.
Another area that's been repeatedly hit is Irpin, just outside Kyiv, where thousands of civilians have fled from. But still, innocent people are caught in the crossfire. Among them was an American journalist, Brent Renaud, killed by Russian forces while on assignment for Time Studios. He and fellow American journalist Juan Arredondo were riding in a car when it came under attack. Juan describing those moments from his hospital bed.
We crossed the first bridge in Irpin. We're going to film other refugees leaving, and we got into a car. Somebody offered to take us to the other bridge, and we crossed a checkpoint, and they start shooting at us. So the driver turned around, and they kept shooting. It's two of us. My friend is Brent, Renaud, and he's been shot.
Time issuing a statement saying, "We're devastated by the loss. Our hearts are with all of Brent's loved ones. It's essential that journalists are able to safely cover this ongoing invasion and humanitarian crisis in Ukraine." Just days ago in Irpin, cameras caught the disturbing moment when a Russian mortar struck the road where civilians can be seen trying to flee. This photo shows several members of the same family killed in the strike. Among them was Tatiana Perebinis and her 2 children. She worked for a Silicon Valley company. Her husband Sergei showed us the cases they were using trying to flee the town.
There's blood.
He says he still can't believe what's happened.
What is your message to America, to Americans, about what's happened here?
He tells me he wants a no-fly zone, but he's going to stay and fight, saying, "I will not run away again. I have nothing left to lose." Across the country, the Russian bombardment is increasingly indiscriminate and hitting residential buildings and civilian infrastructure. Ukrainian President Zelensky travelling to a military hospital, meeting with soldiers injured in the fighting. With Russian strikes now close to the Polish border, the US reaffirming its commitment to the alliance.
We take our Article 5 commitment very seriously. An armed attack against one is considered an armed attack against all.
Well, as the sound of war thunders around this capital city, there are potentially tentative signs that these talks could be more productive. One of Russia's lead negotiators saying this morning that he believes substantial progress had been made in discussions between the two sides and that potentially there could be some kind of document signed in the coming days. And that is clearly a sign that this war and those sanctions have been entirely disastrous for Vladimir Putin. Robin?
Ian, we thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.